Hello. Hello. And welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Thursday. It's been a long time since we've had a real show. I mean, we've had a real show. I've done 2 real shows in the last couple of weeks. Had Robbie Bernstein on last time. Robbie the Fire. That was a lot of fun. You know I love my Robbie Bernstein. My first show back, I had my best friend, John Marshall, who's been my friend since 13 years old. We did some really fun stuff. Had a great night that night. But tonight, we got the real show back. We are back. We are back, baby. Coming back. Before we get too far into it, although he is no longer my partner on the show, I will say, go check out toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend, and old partner on the show who did all the artwork still, really, all the old artwork for the show. Check out all his good stuff over there. Well, I'll keep pumping up the homies as long as I can. Because why not? We got a lot to talk about tonight, that's for sure. We got a great guest for you guys, but very important tonight for you guys to know that our good friends that have not been on the show since June, I believe, June or July, Mr. AJ and Ryan Kurt are back, baby. We're back. How you doing, guys?
Finally.
Yeah.
Into the mic, AJ.
Oh,
yeah.
Finally.
You got
finally.
it. You
It
AJ?
feels good to be
Forever.
back.
I'll get my mic.
All right. All the way, buddy. All the way, buddy.
It feels good to be back.
Yeah. Everybody say,
I missed hanging out with my fellow retards.
yeah. Yeah.
I just realized I can retaliate against Ryan now.
What?
I can hit
You
him
can
if I want.
hit Ryan
I
over
can
there.
hit Ryan.
Yes.
Look.
Yes.
You could do that before. What are you talking about?
We never punched him.
No, we never
He never
did do
got
the
punched.
punch. We do need to do the punch. That's something that we still need to accomplish.
This kid's a dad, and he hasn't been punched in the face yet.
Hey, AJ, Ryan's going to be a dad twice.
Oh my God. Congrats.
We're 6 months along.
But how many are you gonna have?
Goal is 6.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Crack.
Anyways, guys,
He's trying to beat you, Josh.
he's not ever going to beat me. No one can ever beat me. It's over. It's too late.
He has time.
He does have time.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it with one woman, so it's
Hey,
he
hey,
has an unfair
hey,
advantage. And he
hey.
started at 18.
Relax. Don't start that shit with me. Guys, tell us where you're watching from. If you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X.
It doesn't look like we're live.
What? What do you mean? We're always live on Rumble.
Unbelievable.
We're
Like-
always live on Rumble.
Look at that shit.
What's happening?
I don't know. It's just double checked. on my
Well,
phone
we
to make
should
sure.
be on live on Rumble. Sometimes you just got to refresh Rumble a few times. That's kind of how it works. But guys, got a great show for you tonight. We got a great guest for you tonight. I'm very excited. Man's been on the show a few times, once or twice. Good friend of mine. I love the guy to death. I've been a huge fan of our guest tonight for, I don't know, since I went on his show and found out about him. I don't know, 6 years ago, 5
He's
years
a
ago, 4
wellspring
years
of
ago.
knowledge.
Yeah, he's a wellspring of knowledge. He's rose to the top of the podcaster bro elite. He is the host of Liberty Lockdown, Mr. Clint Russell. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me, Joshua Smith. I'm getting terrible reverb in my audio, but I'll figure that out. Yeah, I think I've only been doing my show for like 4 years, so it couldn't have been 5 years ago. I think it was like 30.5 years ago.
I remember I did your show from our apartment in Pleasant Hill, Iowa. I was on like a wicker. It was like a wicker dresser on, I think I was on a really old Apple like stationary computer because I just didn't have the podcast set up yet. So it had to have been in 2020. I know that for sure. And I remember we were talking a lot about political violence and how close do you think we are to political violence. That was something specifically that was brought up several times. So I had to be 2020, had to be at the very beginning of your show. I don't think you had like a lot of followers. Now what are you at now? Like 400, 500,000 or something?
No. 238,000 followers on X as of now.
Jeez, dude. That's monster. You had to pay. Did the USAID help you out there, bro? I mean, did they help fund those followers at all? Or
I wish, man. No, I just very, very consistent output and dedication to it, man.
And saying things that are important. I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to. We fuck around a lot on the show and have a lot of fun. Clint's telling you the truth. And I think that, in this, and I've talked a lot about the podcast space in general for like liberty and libertarians and conservatives and like and how it's, I always try to say it's not oversaturated. It's just oversaturated with people who do really bad shows, right? Like, and that's the problem. Like, there's so many really good shows out there, but it's actually undersaturated with people that are talking that shit the way it needs to be talked, like Dave Smith and Clint Russell and the Nephilim Death Squad. Shout out to you guys. No, I'm just saying it's really it's true. It's not oversaturated with really good commentators. It's oversaturated with grifters and bad commentators and bad shows that don't do good audio and don't do good video and don't really talk about things that are important. Clint hits the nail on the head all the time, and I think that's really where your followers have come from, is the fact that you're willing to say it like it is and tell people what's going on in real life, not in the grifter podcast space, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with you. There's no shortage of podcasts, but there aren't that many great ones. And I aspire to be one of the great ones. And, some people feel that I've gotten there and others hate my guts. And then, that just means that you're doing it right on some level. So I really have enjoyed the journey. It's been very, very strange for me to become, friends with so many of my heroes. And I'm just thrilled with how the entire landscape is developing. I think that we're able to talk about things that you would have got banned for a few years ago. And I think that's all a credit to the people that, fought in the trenches when we were all ducking and dodging censorship. And now you got Ian Carroll going on Rogan yesterday, and it's just
crazy.
The whole world seems to be opening up in terms of like dialogue and what you're able to say. So this is good times in my opinion.
How crazy is Ian Carroll on Joe Rogan? I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. It's queued up. I'm gonna. I actually drove to Lincoln, Nebraska today. It's like 3.5 hours. I've been driving out of town for work all the time, and I was like, yes, this is what I'm doing today. But then a coworker of mine had a little incident, and I had to pick him up and take him with me to Lincoln. And I was like, can't do this. I can't listen to this with somebody else in the car because I'm gonna be like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop talking. I need to listen to what Ian Carroll has to say right now. Ian Carroll's one of my favorite people. He follows me on Twitter. He followed me on X. I'm like, holy shit. That was as big as Massey following me on X or any of these big names. I was like, Ian Carroll's the fucking man, dude. Like that. You want to talk about a guy who does deep dives. It's you know when these grifters are like, you've been chosen to be exposed. You know that? And then they drop
that's garbage.
Yeah, they drop this like random ass bullshit about that. Like, you're like, whatever, that doesn't mean anything. Ian Carroll says you're gonna be exposed, you're fucked, dude. He's digging deep into like shit that you never even thought about at all.
Yeah.
And he's
the real deal.
Yeah, and he's providing links. He's providing the link between this person and this person and how they're, this college is doing this. And it's just like, wow, dude. Wow. Awesome shit. And he shows you the links right there. He shows you the proof. So if you don't believe that guy, that's crazy. The fact that he's on Joe Rogan now, right? The biggest podcast in the world, the biggest fucking podcast in the world has this guy who's literally exposing every day the corruption at every level around the world on the podcast, and millions and millions and millions of people are going to be have the chance to sit down and queue that up and listen to that. Dude, that makes my heart swell, and not in like a I took the jab kind of way, and like a I feel really good about this kind of way. What do you think? Have you listened to it yet?
I've listened to a good chunk of it, not the full 3 hours, but it just makes me happy because I mean I know him. We hung out in DC during the rally, and he's just a down to earth Nephilim. Dude's like 6'8". He's fucking absolutely enormous. But he's just the real deal, and he's a very nice person. And the fact that he did it in under 2 years, he had no real social media, and to go from nothing, just a random guy on the street, to the biggest show maybe in the history of the world,
right?
Is like, it's just remarkable. It really reinstills my faith in this country that you can have, just a rise to the highest of highs in such a short amount of time, just based off of the quality of your work. So I'm thrilled for him. I'm thrilled for, just the entire podcast world that's still possible.
It blows my mind. It is really, really crazy to think about that. That's, the biggest podcast in the world, having a guy on that's, letting you know who's running the world, basically.
In under 2 years. I'm not exaggerating.
And he wasn't paid
when I had him on
my
show, I had him on my show last summer.
Yeah.
And he had just broken a year on the internet.
Holy shit. And he's like, and here's the thing too, is like that when as soon as he starts exposing like these elements, right? He gets this like, people are almost like, oh, you're a MAGA Trump guy, right? And they're like, no, I think Ian Carroll's kind of like a hippie, actually. He's kind of like a hippie dippy. I think
he's a Bobby Kennedy guy.
Yeah, he's a Bobby Kennedy. He was a Maha guy, like make America healthy again, destroy the CIA, like, and the FBI kind of guy. And he gets this like, you're a conservative Republican. And I'm like, dude, I've watched a lot of these talks from this guy. The guy's a giant ass hippie, dude, like big time, like naturalist hippie, dude. He's absolutely not the traditional conservative, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what a great situation to be in too, because you're getting all that hate from the left for exposing their fucking pedophile heroes, right? And you're getting all that hate from the left, and it's just bolstering your position with the people who actually pay attention, right?
Yes.
And so they've really lifted him up to where he is now by hating on him for things that aren't even true. And for hating, and for also exposing their pedophile leaders, right?
Well, the left is just ruining their brand.
Oh yeah,
they're just killing their brand right now.
Oh,
because they're seeing the truth is being exposed, and they're doubling down on the lies in front of everybody. And so now it's I mean, I know you're going to get to it, but the State of the Union address. I mean, there you go. They were exposed. National TV.
Oh yeah,
not nobody watched it though, right?
Oh no, well, yeah, right. Well, and so
literally #1 trend YouTube when I watched it earlier today.
Yeah, but the number of people that sat down and watched that from back, people are watching clips of that. People that sit down and watch
the full video was the #1 trending thing on YouTube. The full 2 hours from the White House.
That's
crazy. Had like 3.5 million views.
330 million people in the country.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
Yeah, and about 4 million of them aren't retarded.
I'm not trying to downplay it, but just saying, not a lot of people know that they were exposed on national TV. Like, there's a certain amount of people, but not everybody.
Well, I talked about this on Twitter just the other day. They're talking about running Anthony. What's the fucking name? The dude from ESPN. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
I said on Twitter, I said most average people have no idea the hit that the Democrats took in 2024. Like they're so down bad. They're like, okay, we got Stephen A. Smith, we got AOC, Pete Buttigieg. Okay, these are the people that are actually talking about running for president in 2028. Legitimate contenders for president. They were like, look, they didn't come away from the Kamala campaign and go, okay, we can't run a terrible candidate like this ever again. They're like, no, what we need to do is run worse candidates, and we're going to win. That's how we're going to win. We're going to run worse candidates, and they've destroyed their brand. It's over. I don't think they come back from this for 2 decades.
Well, you and I agree on that. I mean, they are scraping the bottom of the barrel, and most of the people that they might push, like Buttigieg and a few of these others, are retreads. They're like already proven failures. You've got Gavin Newsom, who's now trying to repackage himself by starting his own podcast and having Charlie Kirk on, and he's trying to make himself seem as if he's just an everyman. When if you have a long form conversation with Gavin Newsom and he continues to do this show, I honestly believe it'll destroy his career. His condescension and his just the way he despises humanity shines through. You can't hide it. You do long form conversations, it's just going to come through, and he's gonna totally regret having done that show. So Gavin Newsom. I mean, you got a guy with brain damage and Fetterman, who's like everybody's favorite Democrat, which is absolutely insane because he sucks too. Like they have nothing. They have nothing at all.
As a candidate for Republican office now, I am primarying Joni Ernst, who sucks. I've decided that the way I'm gonna win this is by actually wearing a hoodie and gym shorts and challenging Fetterman to a fist fight in the Capitol once I become a senator. I think that's the way. I think that's the path to victory. What do you think, Clint? I know that you agree with me, Clint. I know that you do.
You have to fight Fetterman. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said I'm gonna wear, because I'm a hoodie and gym shorts kind of guy. I'm like an Adam Sandler who's not Jewish, right?
Yeah, but look, he's already suffering brain damage. I think a boxing match could actually finish him.
Could be the end of him, but that's how I win.
Not a good idea.
elect a second representative with brain damage.
Yeah, I know. I could be the most. I will be. I don't care that Fetterman's there. I will be the biggest retard in the Senate. There's no doubt about that.
Would Fetterman have a reach advantage?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's taller than me.
For sure. Okay.
I'm 6'2".
I'd still put money on. He'd still be the favorite though.
Yeah. But we're doing it in gym shorts.
Fetterman might have retard strength.
Yeah. Well, I refuse to be. I refuse to not be the biggest retard in the Senate. I mean that, and so you know, he's just gonna have to step aside. What's that?
It's a fight to the death. Then
there can only be one.
Yeah, because like if Fetterman's in there, you're definitely not the biggest retard. So
I know
you're gonna have to take him out.
It's like it's a Highlander situation for sure. There's no doubt about it.
I don't think you would crack the top 10, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. If we're talking like real stats, I wouldn't crack the top 20.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
You got some all-timers.
Alzheimer's?
that works too.
We got Alzheimer's in the Senate for sure. There's no doubt about it. Mitch McConnell's still there. I mean, there's some issues going on. Hey, so we had a pretty interesting couple of weeks. JD Vance, great American. I'm gonna say it. I don't care what anybody's. You look, I very famously, and to the detriment of my own following in libertarian circles, I very proudly endorsed and supported Trump and JD Vance for presidency after losing my own bid, of course. But honestly, after the convention, I'm almost glad that I didn't get the nomination. I'm glad I wasn't anywhere near the nomination at the Libertarian National Convention. I'm sure you feel something similar for sure. And I'm glad that it turned out and shook out the way that it did. And I am just going to go on record and endorse Chase Oliver for president for the Libertarian Party in 2028 again. Would love to see him run that back, dog. You did a good job. Fucking, you worked your ass off. You and Mike Tremont should both run again in 2028.
Me and Ryan have our Nota pens already.
Yeah, you guys are already set up.
Listen, Ryan, let's focus on me and Ryan real quick, okay? Remember at the convention? Remember we were voting Nota, and who was coming around to yell at us? Let's not name names.
Okay, yeah, we had someone yelling at us. We did have
giant man dressed like a woman.
Chase basically begging us to vote for him instead of Nota. Well, our goal with Nota was that the next day we would have to renominate someone. That's someone, Clint.
Yeah.
That was the strategy.
Clint should have been the top. Listen. If the Libertarian Party really wanted to make a dent, Clint would have been the top of the ticket. And let's be frank, Clint. Can we be frank for a minute?
Yeah, let's be frank.
I called you early on and was like, dude, if you run, I'm not running. Basically.
I know. I remember.
That's basically where I was. Clint, you run, I won't run. That's it. That's really where it was. There was a few people like Dave Smith. If Dave Smith had run, I would have sat at home. Well, I would have showed up to the convention and voted for Dave Smith.
Oh yeah.
And probably Clint too. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So had Clint been the top of the ticket, there's no doubt that would have been. Anyways, I
appreciate it, but let me just say real quick, that was on me. Like I did not want the top slot. I did not want to tour to all of the conventions. Like I didn't want to dedicate my life to the party. And God bless those that do, but like that, I'm just not that guy. Like I didn't even want to run for VP. Yeah. I got fucking drag kicking and screaming into that. So I committed as much as I was willing, and even what I gave, I was uncomfortable with. I've never really wanted to be in politics and party politics at all. So
it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It sucks. And I appreciate the support I got, and the fact that I got as close as I did, given that I really didn't want it, is like crazy to me. That I was like 15 votes away from getting the VP slot, even with Chase at the top. Yeah. I almost like snaked his VP pick. It was crazy.
Honestly, would have been the funniest outcome.
Would have been Chase at the top of the ticket, and you as VP. The crazy part is too, like, because of my contacts, I like there's a decent chance I could have got on Rogan, and I would have just gone on as the VP candidate and not brought Chase with
me. Exactly, dude. It would have been the funniest possible outcome. The VP with like 300,000 followers on Twitter, and the presidential candidate with like 12,000.
20.
Yeah, dude. Like this is one of the funniest possible outcomes. It would have been hilarious. But I want to go back to this. I love the way it shook out. I voted for and endorsed Trump and JD Vance because for reasons. But obviously one of those reasons was the Ukraine Russian conflict. Okay, look, we're throwing away hundreds of billions of dollars. It's basically a giant money laundering scheme.
Correct.
We all know that. Anybody that's paying attention knows that. Like, this is a total proxy war, and it's 100%. We're funding them to bring money back to the United States laundered. I mean, that's really what it is, and it's funding them through military weapons, and you know what I mean. Like, it's not. We're not just sending money over there. We're funding Raytheon and Boeing and these companies, and then they're sending their stuff over there, and we're getting money back. You know, it's just
and then
the whole thing.
Those same weapons are ending up.
That's I was just
nobody
say.
knows. Nobody knows how that happened.
Nobody.
And don't worry,
the weapons
we're not
going
to let you audit it.
Yeah. It can't be audited.
No audit. We know where all the money went. You don't need to know that though.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I voted for him because I wanted to stop this war. I thought that, and I talked about it for a year and a half prior to the presidential election, or a year before the presidential election on this show. Repeatedly talked about how, us poking the fingers in Putin's chest and poking fingers in China's chest and trying to fuck with Iran over the Israeli conflict. Like, it looked to me like we were headed on a path to World War III. That's what it looked like to me. I think it looked like that to a lot of other people too. I'm sure Clint was feeling that too. Clint was feeling the same way. I'm sure that we were on a path to World War III.
I made a post about 10 days before the election laying out exactly that like this was existential and that I would be voting for Trump. And I think that's the first Republican, like the only Republican vote I've cast aside from when Ron Paul was running in the primaries.
Yep.
So like, but it's funny because it doesn't matter. I still get described as like a Republican. Yeah. And it's like, that's not me. I voted Libertarian even when I hated our candidates. I would still support them usually. But it's just at some point you realize like, hey, the current trajectory we're on, like, this is not a fucking joke. Like we could legitimately all die. Like at some point you just have to get the lunatics out of power. And despite the fact that like I'm not super fond of some members of Trump's cabinet, they're all universally a tremendous upgrade from the old guard under Biden. I mean, like they were literally driving us to nuclear war, and there was no off ramp. And what's amazing about it is that even with Trump getting in there and kind of demanding peace, you still have this escalatory trap between the EU and Ukraine and Russia, where like now France, Macron is coming out, Keir Starmer's coming out. They're all like still wanting to escalate things with Russia, even with Trump signaling that we're not going to keep doing this. And I think that just tells you that like had Kamala Harris won, like there was going to be a war with Russia this year. Like I really believe that. And I can't believe I'm saying it like, cause it's so insane, but all of the signs were there. And any of the libertarians that give me a hard time about voting for Trump, I just feel like they're not really connected with reality of how serious that situation was. And
I will say this. I'll say this. I think so. Trump basically offered Zelensky a deal in this sit-down meeting. You have some resources we want. We'll talk about protecting you. Don't join NATO, whatever. Blah. And I think had JD Vance not been in the room, I think there may be a very good chance that we continue to support with our tax dollars that war. But JD Vance very clearly was like, motherfucker, you haven't said thank you. You come in here, you try to litigate this in front of let's watch it, because I got some clips here. I'm hoping that Clint will be able to hear it. I don't know how this works. He may or may not.
We finally got collab cam working. So, like, our guests can actually see us.
Yeah, our guests can see us now. So, if Top Lops is out there listening, you and the Nephilim Death Squad can come on and dunk on AJ and Ryan now and feed him.
They were targeting AJ, not me. They were targeting AJ. I'm innocent here.
Yeah.
If you do screen share, it should show it to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do this. But anyways, it's like a 2-minute clip. We're gonna play it, then we'll see what happens. By the way, Clint, I think that you think that we're using StreamYard. I do not use StreamYard, sir. I use OBS. I do.
I realize that.
Okay.
It's called Streamlabs, though.
Yeah. Well, but No. I thought maybe you
Streamlabs.
thought I was using StreamYard because I don't think this has screen share for him.
Well,
but
I have it on my side.
you use OBS?
No, I'm saying
you're using
Streamlabs has an option to
Streamlabs.
screen share.
This
Let's
is an OBS.
I'm not guessing. I'm looking at it on my screen right now.
Okay. Do you know, Ryan? Do you know that Streamlabs is OBS? The same thing. Dude. It's literally the same. The Streamlabs desktop is OBS. It's from OBS.
Okay, I didn't
from
know it was from
Open
OBS, but it's not.
Broadcasting
It's not the. I
Is it the same?
I
It
use
is
OBS
what it is
and
now.
It's different.
Okay. Well, the Streamlabs is part of OBS. It's
Nerd
Okay.
fight in 3, 2.
I feel like
1.
this is totally irrelevant. And
yeah,
that
it's
you
totally
guys-
irrelevant.
it
Let's
absolutely
play the
is.
fucking clip, Jamie. Let's go.
Yeah.
See what
I was buying time so you could do it.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. I don't know. This is the long clip.
We can probably, me and Ryan can do the audio.
Huh?
But they're killing us. You must send us money.
No, I got it. I got it.
You don't have the
I got it.
cards.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems?
What?
Bringing people into your military?
we have problems?
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of
will
the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You
was
don't
in
have
a-
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
He goes from sounding like a supervillain at the start. Feel it. And then he switches to a with
Yeah. Did you catch any of that, Clint, or did you just
No.
see it? You just saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, it's JD Vance goes off on Zelensky initially, and Trump's kind of doing the arms crossed, kind of vibing thing. He's like the cat, the vibing cat, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah, dude, yeah, get him, JD. That's nice. And then, but then Zelensky says, "You will feel it," and Trump's
What
like,
does he
"Wait a
mean
minute,
by
wait a
that?
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute."
Hold on. What do you think he meant by that?
He's saying that after Putin's done with Ukraine, they're going
Right.
to come after us. He
Right.
wants us to feel scared of
Yep.
Russia and Putin, which we don't have to be. Like
Yeah.
I think I've talked about that a lot on the show too. None of these fucking enemies that are these like badly drawn caricatures of American enemies are our enemies. Like we're not worried about any of them.
No.
Classically, like there is no Cold War anymore. Russia's not trying to drop nukes on us. In fact, if we went to war with Russia, it'd be a completely different type of war than what we probably think now. But the fact of the matter is that he offended Donald Trump.
Yep.
Like actually offended him with the "you will feel it," and that was when it shut it down. But I don't think we get to that place I don't think we get to that place without J.D. Vance going after Zelensky.
And they had a whole breakfast before this. This was the big fireworks moment in the office room. Before this, I guess they had a sit down breakfast and stuff, and I think they were cooking them. You know what I mean?
I'm sure. Yeah,
I think they were cooking.
I'm sure. J.D. Vance is a great American.
It was an hour. It was an hour-long sit-down in front of the cameras. I don't know what they did prior to that, but the first 45 minutes of it are extremely jovial. Like it's all ass-kissing and glad-handing, except for Zelensky, who keeps basically insinuating that like peace is not going to come unless you guys give me security guarantees. And I just want to explain this to the audience because I feel like a lot of people don't understand this. But what is NATO? NATO, what sparked this entire war? Well, it was that Ukraine was going to be added into NATO, and Russia completely rejected that. And they said repeatedly, if you do this, we'll invade. The same thing happened with Georgia in 2009, I think it was. So what is Zelensky asking for to end the war now? He's saying, I want a security guarantee. Well, that's de facto NATO treatment. That means that he wants a security guarantee from the EU and from the US. Well, what is NATO? It's the EU and the US. That's what NATO is. So his demand is the exact red line that sparked this war in the first place. J.D. Vance knows that. Donald Trump knows that. And they're sitting there and they're just thinking to themselves, this guy came 7,000 miles to come sit in this office in front of the media to talk shit to us and then tell us that he wants to be de facto added to NATO or else peace is not possible. They rightfully got pissed because they're like, look, we've already given you according to Trump, 350 million. My estimates is 190 billion, but whatever. That's Trump math. But he's demanding to be added into NATO de facto, and that's not going to end this war. That is something that Putin cannot accept and will not accept. So I just think that that's really what blew this thing up. It wasn't so much Vance as it was Zelensky being obstinate for 45 minutes and then finally having enough of it. But I do agree with you that Vance did his part in catalyzing the heightening of the conflict. And then when he said, you could just get loud with me, that's what Zelensky said to Vance. And Trump then got really mad because he's like, he's not getting loud. He's just telling you the truth. And then after that, it was on. But it was, I think it was one of the most revelatory things we've ever dealt with as the American public when it comes to geopolitics. I thought it was super important for those that are willing to watch it, to understand what the backroom negotiations actually look like, because what happened in that moment was what you would probably see if you were in the, actually in the sealed off White House or the Oval Office, or if you were able to listen into their phone calls. They get pissed with each other and that they're at odds, and they're basically horse trading with lives, with hundreds of thousands or millions or billions of lives. Like that's what they're doing. So I just thought it was great that we got to see that for the first time and to see genuine pushback, because the entire Biden-Harris administration was just like, let me see how deep I can fit this dude's dick down my throat. And I was tired of it.
They were contesting in Road Goat.
Ryan coming with the zingers today? What's going on here, buddy?
Do you not know that the de facto throat goat is Nancy Reagan?
Someone give Ryan a gummy.
Did you not take your ADHD meds today?
No,
or what?
I took them.
You're less autistic today. Are you sure?
I'm still plenty autistic. Don't
worry. How the fuck? Where did you come from, dude? You know what it is? He's been saving the zingers for like 6 months, dude. That's what's going on, because he hasn't done a show in forever.
I just kind of decided to stop being polite to you, and like I'll sit back and be polite and listen. I just decided, you know what? If I got something to say, I'm just gonna say it. So these things have been going off in my head the whole time we've been doing the show.
You're on a podcast. It's a good idea to say what comes to your head. So keep it up.
Yeah.
Ryan has agency.
I'm introverted and a little bit autistic, so
a little bit.
A little bit. Sounds like a libertarian to me.
Little bit. That's the biggest understatement ever, bro. We know on Break the Cycle that Ryan is undiagnosed autistic. We know that.
I am not autistic.
Oh, dude, come on, bro.
Okay.
Come on, dude. We remember the one time you came on the show without taking your ADHD medicine. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that show?
I witnessed it.
That was the best Ryan show we've ever had, dude.
And I thought it was my worst show.
And it was the best show we've ever had, dude. We need you
I
off.
wasn't-
We need you off the meth, Ryan.
It's like giving a bipolar some cocaine.
I don't remember. I lowered my dosage. I about halved it sometime in the year or so, and that definitely made.
Yeah. So, anyways, yes. I want to play one more clip before we go any further on this topic because.
I got one more thing I want to add.
Oh, geez.
Just real
Go
quick,
ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Remember when Zelensky said you have oceans to protect
Yeah,
you?
the oceans protect you.
That's fucking bullshit, guys. It's not the oceans. It's the guns.
You sure?
Okay, it's the
You sure it's the
fucking
guns? We do got some firepower.
They
We have some
won't get
real
past
American firepower.
The Bronx. They wouldn't get past the Bronx.
You don't think
To
they
be
get
fair,
past
No.
oceans do
Guys,
pose a bit of a
We're never going to
logistical
be
issue.
invaded traditionally. Boots on the. It's just never going to happen, guys. Sorry.
I,
Sorry to burst your Wolverine's bubble.
The drone batteries won't last
Yeah.
the entire length of the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
Is that true? I don't think
not the
that
fucking
that's
oceans.
true. Honestly, I think that the drone batteries are getting a lot better now. If they can make my Samsung not die in 3 hours, the batteries are getting better.
Oh,
you know?
no, the drones can't traverse the Atlantic on a single charge, but it doesn't matter. They can still put a aircraft carrier or submarine right off our shore and launch drones. But in terms of like actual troop movement and bringing ships across, like it's all laughable. I mean, this is why it's so insulting to have Zelensky say it, and why I think Trump rightfully kicked him in the mouth when he said it. Is like, no, you can't say that to us. We're not going to feel fucking shit. If you fall, we don't feel anything. Like that's what I wanted him to say in that moment, and he kind of did say it. It's like, no. Actually, if you get blown up by a tank shell, my life doesn't change one iota. And the reality is like that's what it's been ever since the beginning of this war. Ukraine has never mattered to Americans. Like, sorry, just being honest. Like, it's still tragic. Like, I feel for them, and I'd love for them to, find a lasting peace. But it's just laughable to pretend that once Ukraine falls, even though he can't, all he's taken is in 3 years he took a fifth of a fucking country, a fifth of Ukraine. But he's gonna roll across Europe, and he's gonna cross the Atlantic, and he's gonna invade the east coast of America,
The greatest superpower on earth of all time.
I mean, we would blow up everything when it got 1,000 miles away from our coast. Like it's ridiculous.
Like our alien spaceships.
Yeah, we got
Shit
alien.
we're working
We got
on
alien
in
craft
Mexico,
now, dude.
Yeah, down the Baja.
Yeah.
That's our shit.
We got alien craft now, buddy. I don't know, but maybe the tariffs are going to hurt our alien spacecraft out of Mexico now. I don't know. That's a possibility. But let me play this other clip because this is actually my favorite clip. It's just like a 30-second clip. But this is for sure my favorite clip from this part, where Trump basically says, no. You didn't go this alone. You had $350 billion from the stupid president. That's what he says. He says this in the meeting. Let's listen to this. My favorite part.
Staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
That's my favorite part. The ending of it when he goes, listen, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks. And Zelensky goes, in 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. Yeah, dumb fuck.
Yes.
Legitimately would have been 3 days if you did not have support from United Nations and Americans, especially the Americans. Not even NATO. That's the thing people don't understand about NATO is like if America literally pulled out of NATO today, NATO
would
crumble.
dissolve.
We're what? Clint, do you remember what percentage of funding we are for NATO? It's like a
Half,
lot.
I think. I think it's about half.
Yeah, it's got to be half, maybe more than half. We're basically the major stakeholder in NATO, and he's telling us we've gone this alone. Like, buddy, you may not be a member of NATO, but we have had your back, and that's the thanks we get. We went this alone.
Yeah,
Fuck you, dude.
It's tremendously insulting. And let me just add too, it wasn't. Maybe Putin said this too, but it was fucking General Mark Milley who said that Ukraine was going to fall in a week. And I think that was the expectation of the Biden administration, that these people were going to get fucking flattened. And the fact that they didn't was really caught them off guard. Like they did not expect the Ukrainians to fight the way that they did. And, God bless, man. Anyone that wants to fight off an invading army, like, I support that, but I have no obligation to support it financially or to see my countrymen die on your behalf. Like, what are we even talking about? It's ridiculous.
And I think the vast majority of the people with the Ukrainian flags in their bios on Twitter right now didn't know where Ukraine was 2 or 3 years.
They still don't know. If
Or
you were
that
to
they
show them a
suspended
map
elections.
and it didn't have the countries marked, I bet you $1 million, 80+% of them couldn't even fucking pick it out on a map. Like, they don't even know where it's at. They don't know anything about this war. They don't know literally anything about it. That's what's so frustrating. It's like they're just, from a purely propagandistic standpoint, they stand with Ukraine, and it's performative. Like, they don't stand with Ukraine. They could give a fuck less.
When was his term over? When was Zelensky's term over? Because he suspended elections because
it was over 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm pretty sure it was over 2
been
years
in,
ago.
His election was
Over 2
2019,
years.
so should have been another election in 23.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
So
So it
It's over,
benefits him if the war.
of course it benefits him, dude. And he's an installed
kind of
puppet. I mean, there's no doubt about
I
that.
mean, it keeps him alive. I think that's his greatest
keeps it
fear,
in
is that
Power.
well,
he
it keeps him in power. That's true.
he'd probably be dead. Yeah, for sure. If he wasn't president, I'd bet.
Well, I mean, there's so much discontent amongst the Ukrainian troops too. Like, he's a Jewish dude who's ruling over like an army that has real deal Nazi battalions in it.
No, I've been told that that's less than a 0.06% of the Ukrainian army, actually. So I don't need to hear that propaganda from you, buddy.
I will say this: it is not the majority of their army, but it is a sizable and very fearsome fighting group that are the Nazis.
Yeah, no shit.
And he's their Jewish commander in chief. So yeah, if they lose that war, like, do you think those guys are going to be real kind to him on the way out? No.
Amity, what's up, Amity? How you doing? She asked if I'm wearing a Christmas sweater. Yes, I'm wearing my Epstein did not kill himself Christmas sweater for our first show back, because I saw it hanging in the closet tonight, and I'm like, perfect. Fucking, I know that it's not Christmas.
Speaking of the Epstein files, what the fuck was that?
They
were like, we're gonna release them. Here's some empty binders that we're gonna parade on social media, and then we're not gonna talk about it again.
Bondi head fake.
Yeah, I didn't even get into it. I haven't, and as somebody who really, 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 really despises the entire situation of Epstein, I knew that it just wasn't going to be what we were being told it was going to. I knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Just much like we were told that Epstein self-deleted
himself.
And definitely didn't self-delete.
See, I got my hopes up a little bit, because we were told Ross was going to. And then he actually got free.
Ross was free, yeah.
Yeah, then we
got some really good JFK files, by the way, which we haven't really talked about.
Yeah. But then we got told, hey, we're going to release the Epstein files. And I was like, oh shit, they released Ross. I didn't think they were going to do that. Maybe they'll do this too. And then
the whole first month he was following through with the vast majority of his promises. I mean, let's be honest, like, the big blind spot here in the entire Trump camp is Israel. And if you believe, as I do, that Epstein and Maxwell were functioning in some capacity for Israeli intelligence, well, that's the reason that you can't get full disclosures. So I'm still very disappointed, and I hope that it happens. But at this point, I don't know. Like, I don't have a tremendous amount of faith. Do you want me to keep talking? It seems like you do.
Yeah, sure. We just had a stage malfunction in the studio. We dropped a poster, fell behind Ryan, almost smashed him in the back of the
Every
head.
time Clint mentions something happens.
Ron Paul's portrait fell. Fake.
Yeah, Ron Paul fell. Uncle Ron Paul
that's
fell.
Terrible.
Yeah. So if you can, I'm just gonna go fix it.
This is like when Ron had a stroke on air. Seeing his picture fall. Yeah. All right. So just to recap this for your audience, since I have to fill time, a bunch of people I know actually were the influencers that were handed the Epstein binder from AG Bondi, and they were not aware of this. So even though everybody wants to just destroy the Chaya, the Libs of TikTok gal, and Drano and Cernovich and a few others, Like they went there to talk with JD Vance about conservative messaging, and they were brought in as the first wave of influencers, like conservative influencers that obviously were big boosters for Trump, and they were just there to talk about that and kind of be honored in that way. Then Bondi comes out of nowhere, hands him this binder, and says, "This is the first disclosures of the Epstein files." They have a binder in their hands that has 200 pages in it, and they're thinking they just got handed the biggest story of their lives, and they don't have any opportunity to actually review it or anything. But it is a big ass binder with a whole bunch of documents in it. So I feel really bad for them because they got set up. Like walking out of there and having those photos taken, like it was a terrible look, but it really wasn't their fault. It was Pam Bondi's fault.
Appalachian Liberty, what's going on, buddy? He said he did a $2 super chat, which, yay, super chats are back. Yes. Thanks, guys. If you want to get your stuff read on here, just drop a super chat. We'll always hook you up, unless you're trying to get our channel shut down. But he said Retard Finder has given Bondi until Monday. Now that is a threat. That is a serious threat. Are you guys familiar with Retard Finder?
Yeah, I'm sure. Following him.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, Clint. Right?
Yeah, sure.
But it's like, motherfucker, I am retard.
I've been tagging them all a couple tweets.
Like they keep tagging me like 3 times a day, and I don't know why.
You're like, found another one. Found another one. Yeah, why do people keep tagging me in Retard Finder shit? I don't know what's going on. But if Retard Finder has given Bondi until Monday, she's fucked. That's it. The greatest, biggest account in the history of Twitter accounts now. So,
how many followers has it got now?
400,000, 500,000 in
last
like 2 weeks or something.
That's awesome.
No, it's over 400,000.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen to see an account. Like, I think if Kanye West were to start a new account, it probably wouldn't grow that fast. It's unbelievable.
Go look it up. Let's see how what are we at? What are we at, Ryan?
Give me a second.
You got good ass internet in here. You got that country fiber, dog. God, could you take any longer, Ryan?
531,000.
532.
532. What is that, in 2 weeks?
There's also apparently a Brazilian branch and a UK branch.
Oh, shit, there's new branches now.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to start a branch. We got to start an Iowa branch. Quick, dude. Quick. No, I don't care. I don't care that much. My Twitter page won't grow anymore. I go up. I'm at like 41,000, 41.8 thousand, and then I go up to 9,000, and it's like I'll see my actual followers, and then I'll wake up the next morning, there'll be 80 followers gone, and then the next day it'll go up 40 followers, and then it drops 60 followers. It blows my mind. I don't know what's going on, dude. I honestly, and we all know the algorithm is fucked on my page, like completely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you guys follow,
if
you follow my Twitter, dude, like it's so bad, dude, that like I'll drop something that will get, I don't know, say 150 retweets within a couple of hours, and you'll go and log on, and it'll be like 7,000 impressions. You're like, oh, dude, you're fucking me up here on purpose. Yeah. Like, and I don't know why. I still have never figured out why. I thought after the Elon stuff that it wouldn't be like that anymore, but whatever. It is what it is.
I'll have stuff too. I think this is a broad-based algo thing that, like, because I'll have stuff with 200 retweets that gets 10 or 15,000 impression or views, and you're like that doesn't make any sense. Like I have 240,000 followers of my own. Just a tweet without any retweets, I ought to be doing 15 or 20,000 impressions. So
easy.
What are these 200 people that are retweeting, giving me nothing additionally? Like, so I think that they've really turned down the value of retweets. This is kind of inside baseball garbage, so we can stop talking about it whenever you want. But I don't think that when I retweet something, I don't think it gets shown to hardly anybody that actually follows me.
It's so bizarre, dude.
Yeah. At private messages, if somebody that chat boosts, but I don't know if that's true. That's just what
you want to know. There's one page that if they retweet my shit, it goes viral every time, and that's Timcast. I don't know why, but if Tim retweets something from me, I'll wake up and have 2 million views the next day.
Yeah, I think at a certain threshold, everything you do becomes algorithmically favored.
Right.
Like if Elon does it, if Tim does it, there's a few others that like the Hodge twins retweet me a lot, that helps. But yeah, I think if you're not north of 1 million, like the impact is pretty minimal.
pretty wild. Anyways, we don't got to keep talking about that. We got upside down airplanes to talk about. AJ,
Okay.
how you feel about flying these days, bud?
Dude, I'm flying out in May.
Scared?
Actually,
Scared?
flying to my buddy's place now.
What part of Alabama?
Huntsville?
Oh, I love Huntsville, dude.
It's say Santa.
Yeah, I like. I've been to Huntsville several times. I've been to
Perfect
Huntsville.
Circle, House of Fire, and
Pool.
Band.
Pool.
No, not Tool.
Okay, because Maynard sings in
I
both
know,
of the
I
other
know,
bands.
I know.
And his ego would definitely let him have
I'm totally
3 bands
blanking on
playing
this.
one
What's the
one
fuck-
tour.
Anyway, there's 3 bands. It's gonna be awesome.
Cool. I look forward
But
to it.
I gotta fly out there, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, all women.
I want to look up in the cockpit. See gray hair and a with a watch, maybe. I want Sully.
Yeah,
flying my plane.
you want like a drunk, like 58 to 70-year-old.
Either Sully
man.
or the guy that Denzel played in that.
Oh
movie
yeah,
where
he was
landed
the
it,
drunk.
going
He was
upside down,
the
all
drunk.
coked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I want one of those two.
I will say this though: the plane that landed upside down, it was manned by women, right? And no one died.
Miraculously. Listen, what happened was, this is some inside baseball. So the flaming wings, right? It was sliding and icy, so the flaming wings blew up and kind of didn't kill anyone because the fuselage kept sliding. So they slid past the main fire
as the wings
that's where all the fuel's at
as
in
the
wings.
wings were breaking
So,
off.
Thank God that it happened how it did, because they kept sliding beyond like.
Yeah, there was some pretty brutal injuries, but no
Yeah.
one died. That's very unheard of for a passenger jet like that to wreck like that and no one die.
Oh, the videos were incredible where they're just climbing out. I'm just
It's
like,
insane,
it's a fucking
dude.
miracle.
Yeah, the guy the guy that's on his phone live tweeting, and he's like, holy fuck, my God, holy fuck. And the lady's like, could you please watch your language? And I would have been like, bitch, we almost died.
I was on that plane.
Are you kidding me? I was just on the plane where everybody almost died. We wrecked. That plane don't got any wings. Motherfucker, I'm gonna say the F word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little autistic.
Shocking.
So,
We're all shocked, buddy.
I saw someone kind of went into the research. Okay, why are we hearing plane crash? Are more happening than they usually do? No, it's like right on pace.
Yeah. It's the same amount as normal.
Yeah, it's just being reported way more.
Yeah. My friends, if you listen to me, you still have a much, much, much higher chance of walking outside your door in the morning, slipping on ice, banging your head and dying than you do dying in a plane accident. That's the crazy
Not
part.
in Miami. No,
Yeah,
that's not.
Yeah, that's not.
I
that's
got
true.
some nuance to Ryan's point.
Okay.
While the number of incidents may be the same or steady or average or whatever, the nature of the incident, that's the pattern we need to look at, folks. It's the nature. It's not these, accidental things where, it's human error just by a split second. These are gross, negligent maneuvers happening.
Yeah, well, and people also forget that there was a plane crash in, I think it was Jersey, where 60 or something people died, and that got buried by the plane that flipped over when it landed, and that was just a miracle that people didn't die. Everybody easily could have died. That fuselage could have lit up. They could have all burnt to death on the runway. So, yeah, I agree. I don't think that this is normal. Actually, you can bring up stats, but in terms of like casualties, the casualties are higher than they usually are. We hadn't seen a casualty in a plane crash aside from like private aviation in years. I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. And now we've seen what could have been multiple, major casualty events. So I think that there's something off here. And I personally think that it's just the government is running really poorly, but also the corporations did focus on, equity hiring as opposed to, or inclusivity hiring as opposed to merit. So it's just a bad trend.
Are you guys saying that 13% of the pilots are doing 60% of the crashes? Is that what's going on here? I don't.
It's very possible.
Something like that.
For the record, I think that there's plenty of black male pilots that are highly capable.
Highly capable.
I just don't think that there's many females that are.
No, I was talking about 13% of the
Good
pilots
point,
are
yeah.
females, and they're doing 60% of the crashing, I think. What's
Yeah.
going
I know,
on.
but the 1350 line is usually attributed in a different fashion. So
I know that was, I was trying
What
to
do
listen, Clint. It was a play on words, man. Come on,
do you
dude. Don't
mean,
fuck up my joke, Jesus. Dude.
I
I'm gonna
would
go
be
hang myself.
curious
I'm out of
to
here.
see like what they're classifying as incidents, like what are crashes. I think it was looked at. So it could just be how you felt. Could classify it kind of like the school shooting. 3 shots, or like a shot is fired within so far school district,
Yeah.
or like building.
75%. 75% of the population doing 2% of the.
Oh.
I'm trying to toad my way. I'm trying to toad my way into jokes here. I'm fucking them all up now. Fuck, dude. That's gonna be on a fucking Tower Gang intro at some point.
Speaking of mass shootings,
Yeah.
we don't want to go into that probably, but
No.
100% are on SSRI drugs.
Oh, every time, dude. Every one of them's got Manson land. Every single one of them's
Yeah.
got the Manson that are indicative of SSRI,
Yeah.
dude.
And just a side note, one of the side effects of SSRI drugs are suicidal thoughts and homicidal ideation.
I don't know if I told you guys this recently. Just last year, actually, went to the doctor. I don't go to the doctor very often. I'm not a big fan, but I have a vertigo issue, and a lot of people that know me know I have this vertigo issue. Someone said the sound keeps dropping.
Yeah.
Fuck. Why?
Again,
Whose mic is cutting out? Somebody said dude's mic is cutting out every second. Whose mic? Tell us.
ooh, is it mine?
Is it mine or AJ's? If it's mine, yes, I know we're having some issues with my mic. I've been having issues with my mic, and I got to fix it. I'm sorry.
Yours has been good during the show. It's been AJ's.
Is it
I'll
AJ?
yell.
Yeah, it's because AJ.
probably need to yell.
I've told AJ probably 30 times during the show to talk directly into that
talking
fucking
directly into the
directional
mic.
mic.
Probably
and you
just
can't.
need to adjust your mic.
Yeah.
So
Stop
it's,
going so far away from your mic. It's a directional.
well, just adjust it.
Sure, Mike,
so
it's-
you like to look at Josh when you talk.
Oh, someone said blue shirt.
Me? Oh,
It's you.
shit.
Fuck you, Ryan.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh, I had
maybe
the
I'm
names
doing the
backwards.
same
Yes,
thing.
it's Ryan. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Ryan talks like a girl. That's the biggest problem. Is Ryan literally has the voice of a mouse.
Ryan,
The
you just
mic
need to
will
move the
mic will
mic
work
closer.
properly as long as you just stop having so much estrogen in your body.
Yeah,
So
if you
you're
could
working on that.
drop the fucking estrogen for 5 seconds, Jesus, you're gay. No, but here, so anyways, what were we talking about before? Someone rudely interrupted me in the comments about Ryan's mic. No one cares about Ryan's mic. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? No, what were
We're
we
talking
saying?
about plane crashes.
Yeah, plane crashes. Oh no, we were talking about school shootings.
Oh, mass shooting.
Mass shootings.
Oh,
SSRIs.
SSRIs.
you going
Okay,
to the
I had a
doctor.
story.
Oh,
I had a
yeah,
story
yeah.
about this.
Your doctor
So
visit.
I went to see a doctor because I had this vertigo issue. It gives me some pretty fucking bad anxiety when the world starts spinning out of the blue.
yeah.
Okay, this flat Earth just starts spinning around me.
bet.
It's really crazy. And so I'm just kidding. So, anyways, I went to see this doctor, and I don't like to see doctors because they always try to push weird shit on you. And he's like, "Well, we've got to treat the anxiety before we can treat the dizziness." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "So I'm gonna prescribe to you this SSRI." And I'm like, I didn't come in here about depression, motherfucker. I came in here because the world's spinning, because I have a fucking inner ear issue or a sinus issue or something that's causing me to have vertigo. And he's like, "Well, I just think that you're having some added anxiety." Yeah, motherfucker, the world's spinning around me for no reason, out of the blue, and I'm having a little anxiety about it. I'd like to fix the cause of that symptom and not the fucking symptom itself. And I certainly don't want to become Manson-lamped fucking school shooter, right? So please, don't give me the shit. I don't want it. Anyways, so I walked out of the hospital with a prescription for an SSRI because of my vertigo issues. And I basically called my wife, right? Like almost wanted to cry, dude. I was like, "Dude, I don't even know how I'm going to get relief from this because the doctors want to give me some shit that's going to turn me into a fucking zombie
You know
for
what
a
would help with the
vertigo
crying?
issue." What?
You know what would help with the crying though, Josh?
Not being such a bitch.
No,
No, the
SSRIs.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. I didn't even think about that. That's true. Yeah, well, whatever, dude. I got 7 kids, bro. Sometimes I cry in the driveway before I walk in the house. You know what I mean? You ever do that? You ever just stop in the driveway? And you're like,
that sounds like depression, Josh. It
gotta
sounds
get
like
my man cry out, bro. You know what I
sounds
mean?
like you need an antidepressant really bad.
It's hard being, it's hard being dependent on
30% of the population.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't toad this joke, dude. Don't toad my jokes, okay? I fucked it up. It's already gonna be in a.
It's
sour
okay to
game.
cry. You can cry one man
No.
tear. It just one.
It's like
single
30% of the population is on his SSRI. They're having issues in bigger cities where they're finding like significant amounts of it in the drinking water because when people pee it out,
Yeah, yeah. it
they're
turns
not
the
able to
frogs gay.
filter it
We're aware.
properly.
Is that what's turning the frog?
Yeah,
gay?
that's turns
No,
frog
that's
gay.
atrazine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like that
drugs
you
are-
guys just make shit up on the show. It reminds me.
Yeah,
of
dude.
being
We
on
don't
top.
listen, dude. I'm not here.
I'm not making any of this shit
I'm not
up.
here.
No,
No,
I'm
the
not-
frogs are gay.
But Homeboy said that every school shooter's on SSRIs. There's obviously medical privacy, so we don't have a fucking clue what these guys are actually on. But I would imagine that like more than half of them are on psychotropic medications. I wish we could like pierce that and have a study so that we could actually understand, what percentage of them are on it, because that would be elucidating.
I will try to dig that stat up, dude, because I think it's 100% that they know of. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah,
well then
I've
what they
heard
know
that
of,
from
but what they know of
multiple
is
sources as well.
minimal.
I don't know.
What kind of fucking
How
sunglasses?
did they get their medical files? I just don't buy it.
There's ways.
Maybe
There's
maybe it's
tremendous
just word of
protections
mouth
against
on
that.
some of this. shit.
Maybe when they went into investigated the houses, they just found SSRI bottle prescribed to the person. It was in the
I
police
don't know.
report.
Clint's right. It
potentially?
could be hearsay. This could be people that know them and go, oh well, I think they were taking anxiety drugs.
I mean, medical privacy laws are very strict. So
Oh,
I'd
I'm
be
aware.
very
It's true, yeah.
surprised.
That is true.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if that was actually like put out publicly. Oh, every school shooter happens to be.
Yeah,
on
I will
SSRIs.
try and dig it up. Yeah, I did hear that stat. I was like, hey,
No, I've heard it 1,000 times too. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I think it's a high percentage. I just don't think it's 100%.
The truth is
someone
that
could prove it to me.
the truth is that we just say whatever the fuck we want to say on the show. You know that,
Right.
It's because of the drugs.
We just don't give a fuck. Who cares about accuracy? The Tower Gang fans have entered the chat with the $10
Uh-oh.
super chat. Brownwater Squid, thanks for that. He said, "What's up, retards?" Everybody wants it. Everybody
Here we
wants it.
go.
They still. It's
Speaking-
not. I'm not
speaking
even on
of-
Tower Gang, motherfuckers.
The hard
Speaking
R.
of retards, I just started a new show called Dangerous Retards with Top and David, aka Raven, and it is going well. We've just did our 4th episode today. I'm actually going to be moving to Central Florida. I'm going to be leaving Miami to do the show in person. We're trying to negotiate a deal with the town there to have the theater, which is a 200-person seater theater in the heart, like main street of this little town, and trying to negotiate a deal with Rumble too. So stay tuned to that, but definitely subscribe to Dangerous RTRD.
Is that that's fucking. First of all, that's amazing. Second of all, is
Yeah,
that
that's
we're
cool.
talking like Kill Tony status, dude.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. That's exactly what we're going for. So
Fucking sick.
Rumble doesn't have that. They don't have anything that even approaches that level of audience or anything like that, or even that style. Obviously, we're not comics, and we're probably not going to be stealing the exact mold of Kill Tony, but I think that it has the potential to be something really special for them. And if they're smart, they'll sign us. If they're stupid, they won't. We'll see.
Well, Rumble can be hit or miss.
It's just very hard to get an answer like that. I've
Yeah.
talked to them countless times over the years, and it's just like they want to throw $100 million at Russell Brand, but they won't throw $5,000 at fucking startups. And it's like, you guys have it all backwards. Like, you should be growing like your own talent. And
Yeah,
you
it's
can
funny
do it
because
on the cheap.
we do our best viewership on Rumble. I mean, we do anywhere between 50 and 80,000 views per episode on Rumble live, but we don't get paid.
Yeah.
We do very few viewers on YouTube, and YouTube pays us.
Right.
So it's kind of a really shitty situation. Now, YouTube, I've always said to myself that eventually YouTube was going to pull us down. They never have. Still don't know how. I've stayed under the radar for that long, but I'm sure that at some point it could happen. Rumble would be our main platform because that's where we're getting in front of people, but they don't pay. So it'd be really good for them to pay you guys because you guys are good. But I know that Tim Cash tried to work a deal with them once, and it didn't work out either. So
He's got a deal now.
does he have a deal with Rumble now?
Effective February 1st, I believe they're doing exclusive content on Rumble from Timcast and Timcast News. He was. I have too much inside information because I talked to him about this during Christmas, so I can't say anything more than that. But yes, that is public knowledge. He
That's
does
really
have
good.
a deal with
That's
Rumble.
good to hear. I'm glad that happened for Tim. 'Cause I know they wanted to work something out like over a year ago. They were trying to work something out, and he was somebody needs to learn business over. Sounds like
because they were trying to get him to leave YouTube, and he's like, "Look, I'm not going to do that." Yeah, I'm like, my audience is enormous over there. My revenue is enormous over there. But they structured something that makes sense for him, so I'm happy for him.
I'm glad to hear that. I liked him. I know, like, people sometimes my friends on Twitter are like, "Oh, Timcast, blah blah blah." I liked him. I've been on Tim's show like 3 times, and he's a fucking cool dude. Like in real life, he's fucking cool shit. I'm super down to chill with Tim outside of the show. Like he's a cool dude. And the other guys over there are all fucking cool too. Like I've never showed up to Timcast's like compound and met anybody who sucks. Like Ian, I fucking love Ian. He's cool. Bill's a fucking amazing dude. Like all these dudes, even if I disagree with them on shit, like Israel or whatever, they're the coolest fucking guys ever. Yeah, so
I disagree with everybody on that panel about a lot of things.
Yeah,
but they're all like gems of human beings.
Yeah,
so
I've never understood.
That's why anytime people go like, "What, you fucking just want to suck Tim's dick," and I'm like, "Dude, it's not that. Like, he's my buddy.
Yeah. Cool
you want me to talk shit about my friend? Like, what are you talking about?"
I'm skateboarding in his skate park, dog. What are you talking about? Like, fuck out of here.
Well, he and I have played poker for like dozens of hours together. Like we're actually friends at this point. So we went to DC together. Me, Josie, he and his wife all hung out on this rooftop for hours and hours and hours. And like he's like genuinely my friend at this point. So people want me to talk shit about him because he won't go hard in the paint against Israel. I'm like, I don't care. He doesn't want to fund Israel. Is that not enough? Do we need him to be like fucking Ryan Dawson about this shit? Like that's enough.
There's levels to this game, and Ryan Dawson is definitely a level, dude.
Yeah,
there's certainly a level. There's certainly a level.
And honestly, there's levels way more hardcore than Dawson when it comes to
Stu Peters.
So. Jesus Christ,
couple levels higher,
dude. He used to invite me on like every week, and at some point, I was just like, I can't keep doing this because like I would go on there. And he would ask me about, Israeli influence, and I would express what I normally do is like, yeah, I really don't like the inordinate amount of influence that AIPAC has on our political establishment, and obviously I oppose all foreign aid, so I don't want to send any more money to Israel. And he's just like, yeah, but what about how they control the media, Clint? And what about like just Jews broadly? I mean, can we just stop saying Israel and like start to call it by its name? Can we say Jews? And I was like, dude, this is your own trip. Like you go ahead. Like I'm not gonna go there.
I've been on Stu's show. I don't know, 2 or 3 times too. I've gone pretty hard in the paint on Stu's show, but never as hard as Stu. Stu is
no.
Stu goes hard, real hard on the gays too. Real hard on the gays, dude.
Yeah, and it's like I'm already like what I say about Israel is enough to get me, basically canceled or blacklisted from most Con Inc. platforms. So
yeah.
Like it's not like I'm afraid to talk about it. It's just that I don't agree with you when we have to talk about the Jews like as a group of people. Like that's not. I'm an individualist. Sorry, like that's never going to change. But that's not permissible on that platform, which is wild.
Dude, it's wild, bro. It's a wild show. It's fun though. I'm a couple times I went on there. They had a co-host. What's his name? He's got like the pompadour haircut.
I've only ever been on with Stu.
I've been on with Stu twice, and I've been on with the other guy twice too. Mark, I follow him on Twitter. Cool ass dude. He's like a pastor of some sort, which is kind of cool. But anyways, all right. Let's we're over an hour. We gotta get talking about State of the Union. Ryan.
Oh, okay.
This is you. You're queuing up, buddy.
Okay, State of the Union. Well, I watched the whole thing.
Give us your take.
Well,
what happened?
It was kind of a weird experience. Brought me back to Libertarian, where it was all a bunch of theater and posture people, kind of bitches. Occasionally, and then Trump spoke. Republicans applauded every 30 seconds. Really annoying. And Democrats just sat there holding up little stupid signs. And Trump made a whole bunch of claims. How valid some of them were. But, yeah, hard to recap 2 hours of stuff without preparation. Really, but
Why didn't you prepare?
I
Yeah, you're fired, dude. Get the fuck out right now.
yeah.
I didn't even watch
we
it, so.
we prepare on the show. This is new.
All right. Well, I watched the whole thing. It was, normal Trump bombast. I did want to say it wasn't a State of the Union address. Like fucking Dave Smith labeled that his episode today, and it was a address to the joint session of Congress. There is no State of the Union. I guess in the first like when a new
Got to be
president
like
comes
6
in.
months
Yeah, they were
after or
calling it
something.
that, though.
They do it every year, but like he just came in, so like he doesn't do it. Anyways, I thought that like the only notable thing to me was yes that the Democrats wouldn't applaud anything, but that's kind of not notable because the GOP used to do that under Biden, but they would only applaud when it came to Israel, of course, because if they're talking about Israel, you got to fucking stand up, homeboy. I don't care who's saying it. But I didn't think that was that novel. I thought like the only moment that really stood out to me was when Trump is talking and he's saying, they left the borders open, they're human traffickers, and he points at the Democrat side of the aisle when he says human traffickers and he points at them. And I was like, that was gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that part. But aside from that, it was like, yeah, I'm the best and the Democrats are the worst. And, it was an hour and 45 minutes of that.
I'm not gonna lie. When Trump came and spoke at the Libertarian National Convention, it really sat with me because he came up there and typically if you're trying to get votes from people, you're like, listen, I'm the guy for you because this, and instead he went up there and was like, listen, you're all a bunch of fucking losers. If you want to stay losers, you can keep voting for anybody that's not me, or you can endorse me and stop being a loser. And I'm like, damn, dude, am I really?
I guess you guys like to keep losing.
I was like, am I really that much of a fucking loser? Damn, dude, I am. It really, because I was with you guys when he was speaking. You remember that?
Yep.
And I remember thinking like, wow, this is pretty brash and fucked up. But in my head, I'm like, damn, dude, I've been spinning my wheels for a fucking decade in the Libertarian Party. 10 years of my life, bro, that I'll never get back, just giving everything I had to the Libertarian Party. And they've, in that time, tried to get me fired from jobs, tried to stop me from adopting my adopted kid's younger sibling, called me a rapist, a Nazi, a abuser, a child abuser. I mean, literally, that is the payment I got. That's the only payment I got for 10 years of spinning my wheels in the Libertarian Party. And I was like, damn, dude. Damn. Trump's right. I'm a fucking loser, dude. And we're going to keep being a loser if I sit here and do this. And it did stick with me. And it was, it was pretty funny, to be honest. Like, you're all a bunch of losers. If you guys want to stay losers, that's fine. Stay a loser. Just don't vote for me. That's all I'm saying. If you want to be a loser, don't vote for me.
He said, you can endorse me. You could vote for me, or I mean, keep getting your 2%. You choose. And I was like, that was gangster. I same feel that you had. I was like, I appreciated the honesty. And I think that whoever advised him on that speech was really smart, because libertarians are probably the most shrewd, voting block that exists. Like, we don't trust any of you motherfuckers. So if you stand up there and you bullshit us at all, like, we're going to smell it. So the fact that he got up there and he's like, yeah, look, I know we're not perfectly simpatico, but I can give you a couple things and you can be a winner for the first time in your life, or you can keep losing. So I liked it.
It got me. It got to me. Pretty good. And we were watching it from the.
I regret not going in person.
Yeah. We went, and we
I
went.
was concerned.
Yeah, we didn't go in person. The three of us. I didn't want to. That was the other thing too. Is like, I was running for president, and I didn't really want to be in the room and have people be like, "Yeah, motherfucker," you know what I mean? And I was like, "Yeah."
I feel like the most of the people that were acquainted with violence avoided that event.
Yeah.
People that weren't acquainted with violence wanted to go.
Yeah. Well, and there was some, yeah, it's true. I was like, yeah, this feels like it's gonna be.
Could be spicy.
It got rowdy, but that to me is still probably the most surreal day of my life, because I debated. I debated Vivek Ramaswamy with Dave Smith moderating, and then, or like kind of a debate, kind of a conversation.
You guys agreed on a lot of shit.
Had a really great performance. Like, was totally calm and in the zone, which for me was stunning, because I thought I was going to be nervous as fuck, and I was just like, in the zone. And then to have that open up into, into Trump is just like, it's just nuts. And I actually got to speak too. I got to give a speech right before too.
Yeah, you opened. That's what I just said. You literally opened for Trump, dude. I mean, like I'll tell you this. So it's funny because now I drive by the convention center all the time. It's just kind of like West Omaha. There's a giant convention center, Embassy Suites there. Before you start heading towards Lincoln. I always want to say Lincoln City because that's the beach town in Oregon outside of Portland where I used to hang out all the time. Lincoln, Nebraska. And I'll never forget in 2018 when I was running for chair of the Libertarian Party, I was invited to speak at this thing called the Roads to Freedom Unconvention, Omaha Roads to Freedom Unconvention. That had all these big speakers at it. I mean, Austin Peterson, Ron Paul, fucking Dr. Kyle Varner, who used to be a really cool guy before the CIA told him he had to start actually trying to dismantle the Libertarian Party. God, I can't remember. There's so many people. I think probably Massey or Amash, those people were there. I mean, there was a ton of fucking people there. And I was asked to come and be a speaker at this thing as a candidate for chair of the national committee. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll probably be in some breakout room. No, motherfucker, you're the keynote speaker in the ballroom. You're shutting down the ballroom right before dinner with Ron Paul and his speech. And the only people that are speaking after you are in the dinner, and that's going to be Eric July bringing on Ron Paul and then Ron Paul. And I was like, motherfucker, I've never been a public speaker of any type. I had for the longest time in that first campaign, I had a written speech about the importance of a handshake. And I was reading that speech at podiums at state conventions because I had never done this. So now they're like, oh, your spot is an hour. Your spot is a fucking hour and you are closing the ballroom. Good luck. I'm like the big main room. And I'm like, I'm on the stage, dude. And I'm like, I am going to pass out. Legitimately, my hands are shaking. And I got through this like really good, like 40-minute speech, and then did the rest Q&A, which if you haven't ever been a public speaker and you don't know how long you can speak, Q&A saves your ass big time. Shut down, went to dinner with Ron Paul, got to hang out with Ron Paul and Eric July. Great night. Those things can get fucking scary, Clint, especially for like normal dudes.
Yeah, which we
scary
are.
As fuck.
Yeah, my very first speech ever, I opened. I think I had, I don't know, it was only 10 minutes, probably maybe 15. But I opened for, it went me, Scott Horton, Eric July, Dave Smith. I was like, these are my heroes. Like, you can't have me. I've never given a speech ever of a political variety other than like in high school. Like, what are we doing here? That was in Texas, and it was probably 200 people there. Fucking intense, man.
Scary, dude.
People still don't believe me when I say this because they're like, you're good at this. And I was like, I don't care if you think I'm good. It is horrifying. I hate it.
It's horrifying. It's hard. And you're not just like naturally, nobody is fucking naturally good at it, dude. That's the thing is like, people don't understand. You can't have never been a public speaker and then stand up and be like, oh, all of a sudden this like fucking prolific public speaker. It takes work. And it's fucking scary, dude. It is scary. And for regular people, at least, I've worked in politics for well over a decade, and I still am nervous, dude. When I did the presidential debate, you guys remember you drove to the presidential debate with me at the national convention. You remember how fucking nervous I was? Dude?
You were so nervous.
Literally felt like I was going to pass out on the stage there. Every time I got loud, when I get loud in a debate like that, where you guys notice where my fucking vocals just like go way up and I'm like yelling, that's because in my head, I'm like, dude, you're going down. Here goes the pass. You're about to pass out. Like, you're going to do it. It's going to happen, dude. I don't think people understand that, like, that's literally where I'm at. Like, my head when I'm doing those things is like, just don't fucking pass out, dude.
I know. But the thing that's so funny about it is like, I don't sense it with you and people don't sense it with me either. But whenever I get off stage, people are like, that was fucking great, dude. Like, you crushed that. And I was like, I'm so glad it's over. You have no idea how fucking horrifying that entire experience
people are constantly like, you did a really good job. And I'm like, I don't remember any of it.
When I introduced you, that was so exhilarating. I was so excited. And when I walked off, I was just pumped as shit.
Oh, when you did your endorsement speech for me?
Yeah.
Do you know, have you gone back and watched it?
Yeah, somebody in the YouTube chat said RFKS speaker.
Yeah, no, it's
because my voice was like wobbling.
Your voice was wobbling because you were nervous as fuck, dude. For sure, there's no doubt you had to be nervous.
I was excited.
Yeah, but that's it's still cortisol. I mean, you were nervous, bro. Excitement can also be nervous.
Well, I wasn't like scared.
Yeah.
At least your fingers weren't stimming the whole time.
Yeah. Thank you for not stimming. Thank you for not stimming, buddy.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
My mom does have like a vocal stim, so I wonder if I get a little bit. I have a little bit of that.
Your mom passed the autism down, dude. That makes a lot. Thank you for that. I hope your mic's working. I did turn you up. Somebody was saying that your mic wasn't working.
Hey, Chad, is my mic working?
It's really funny because it's not usually your mic. It's always my mic. So we'll get it fixed. We'll get it figured out. But we've been having some issues. Clint, I love you to death, man.
Love you too, man.
Are we done? I'm a big fan. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. And we
okay.
don't really go 2 hours yet. But someday, someday when we have the in-person studio, that'd be really cool. We want to get there. We want to start building our way back up. But we did not, for some reason, the restream did not work tonight. So I'll be reposting basically everywhere.
Bummer.
Happened. I don't know. I put in the stream key. Everything was good to go. Maybe when I added TikTok, it fucked up something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, Clint, where can people watch you, subscribe to you, listen to you, support you, all those good things?
At Liberty Lockpod on X. If you want to support my work, you can subscribe there. I'll follow you back. Liberty Lockdown is the show on YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, everywhere else. Almost at 1,000 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. So if you guys could help get me over the finish line on that, that would be tremendous. And I also do Tower Gang, which you should never ever watch. And
you should watch every episode. It's fucking hilarious.
And I do Dangerous Retards once a week with Top and David, and that's the newest endeavor. But yeah, I just basically tweet a bunch and then talk about my tweets and then repeat. So that's my life.
Dangerous
right now.
Retards is basically Nephilim Death Squad, except that they added a Nephilim.
Exactly right. And what's weird about it is like the Nephilim is the only sane person on that panel, so it's a good thing that they added me.
What are you talking about? You just one look at Top Lobster and you can tell that is a very, very sane white nationalist.
Oh, sane white nationalist.
Clint, we love you to death, man.
Puerto Rican white nationalist,
dude. He's that hair, dude. I mean, that's just white. That's white boy hair, dude. You can't get past that.
That dude's a lettuce.
That's hair awesome. That could very quickly be put on a crackhead.
Yeah, I know you're not talking about crackhead hair, but
what?
But we love you to death, man. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. Everybody go follow our friend Clint. Clint, we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Thanks, Clint.
Guys.
Thanks, buddy. All right, guys. Another great episode. That was fun. We're back. We're shaking the dust off.
Yeah.
It's been a while, dude. It's been a while. We're shaking the dust off, trying to get back into it. It'll take some time, but I got some really good feelers out for some good shows. I have gotten confirmation that we will have Rob Schneider on at some point soon. That'll be a fun show. Hopefully Vivek coming soon.
Oh, that'll be
fun. So we're working with some good things here. We might have some good people now that we have a program that will let our guests see us while we're doing the show. Things are going to get a lot better. Ryan, you got anything before we head out?
Yeah, I do. Everybody should like, comment, and subscribe. Give us a review on any podcast platform that you listen to. 5 stars would be preferable if I could speak.
I'm retarded and I forgot to hit the record button before the show, so I will upload this tomorrow to the podcast. My bad, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, audio just issues. It's part of the charm of the show. You'll learn to love it, I promise. Yeah, so share it with your friends, share it with your mom. Help spread the word.
Mr. AJ Fisher.
Have we covered all of our super chats?
Oh, no, we got one more from Brownwater Squid, $10 super chat. He said, that's awesome news. Kill it, Clint. It raises a question about a discussion we had, but I'll ask that offline.
That was about Timcast.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was about...
It was about Timcast.
Dangerous Retards. Pretty sure. But he will definitely... he talks to Clint offline. He's he might be Tower Gang's biggest fan, but he's also my good friend in real life. My wife is actually tonight wearing a shirt that he sent to us because he's the coolest. I won't drop names, but I've stayed at his house. He's cool. So AJ, what do you got?
Cool.
Chinese spy balloon free.
Chinese
still
spy balloon
2
free?
years later, buddy.
I wanted to point out one thing that I became aware of today. The Iowa legislature is trying to raise our requirement to be a major party in Iowa to 10% of the vote, not 2%.
That will never happen.
They pushed it through subcommittee.
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
we're looking at it.
Yeah.
The Republicans
What
are
the
so
fuck?
upset that the Libertarian got
Major
major
party
party
status.
status. They're so
Yeah, they're
mad.
not happy
So
about it.
mad.
Yeah.
They
They just
tried
want
to-
you guys to
they-
be. Well, that's the thing is you guys. They just want you to come be Republicans.
Unbelievable.
They're so mad, but then campaigned on behalf of some of our candidates.
I will never get rid of my cannabis, you bastards. And we
To be fair, to be very clearly fair, there are some really good Republicans that have voted against cannabis for very good reason.
What reasons would those be, Josh?
Well, let me
tax the
explain it
shit
to
out of
you.
it.
They want to do a 37% excise tax on the entire industry right off the
of
top.
course.
There's
Why not?
there's all kinds of issues like that, and that's the same reason why New Hampshire has voted against it sometimes too. Is they don't want it regulated.
your black market dealer 25%. Just pay us 37. What a great deal.
Yeah, no, it's more. It's more than it's. You're not paying black market.
And this is
25%
why
market.
They'll
I
never be
always
black
use the
market.
language of decriminalize it instead of
I
legalize
know.
it.
That's my thing. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, Brownwater Squid
Decriminalize.
actually said nope on both of those things, so we're both fucking
Oh.
wrong. So.
Yeah, we're
Nope on what?
okay.
No,
Okay, AJ
we're
needs to guess.
speculating
the
on what his
super chat was
super
about.
chat was about.
Well, let's get his super chat and bring it back up.
It was
right there.
that is awesome news. Kill it, Clint. It raises a question about a discussion we had offline, but I'll ask that offline. LOL.
Who
Is it
knows?
about-
Who knows? Who knows what it is?
Is it
I'll
about
call
him
him. I got his
moving?
text. Here, you want me to text him? It was about Clint's meat. Yeah, Clint's
Hmm.
meat. Is that what you said?
I said him moving, but we
Oh.
could make it about his dick.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay. It's probably about Clint moving, and that I know why now. I know why.
Oh, he said he was moving from Miami to Central.
Yeah, to different part of Florida, and I know why
Okay.
that makes sense to bring Brownwater.
Got it.
You guys got anything else before we go?
Oh, follow me on X, Motor City Ronin. My other account was banned, I guess. I got to get some advice from you offline.
I got
I
you,
gotta,
buddy.
yeah, I got to try and get my account back up. But Motor City Ronin.
Wait, the Hyoki or whatever one is.
Yeah, it's the name, I think, of Hattori Hanzo. At Motor.
Oh, that's right.
Got 130 followers, trying to build it back up.
Yeah.
I had like, it was 1,000, I think. That's something not nasty. So.
Well, now that we have a working collaboration camera on the OBS, so we no longer have to use StreamYard to bring our guests on. First of all, it's going to save me $50 a month, which
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited about. Second of all, when I start doing members-only shows again, which is coming up soon, within the next couple of weeks, we're going to start doing members-only shows. Whether these two fucking jabronis stick around for that 45 minutes to an hour after the show, I don't know. But because we have a collab cam, I will now be handing out codes to members of the show to hop on and ask questions, debate questions, or ask our guests something. So if you want to
Cool.
become a part of the after hours members only shows, you can do that by going to Patreon right now, patreon.com/breakthecyclejs. You can also go to subscribestar.com/breakthecyclejs, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel right now and become a member. Join link on the video. And any of those things will help get you into the show as a member on certain shows, members only after hour shows. We're trying to build the show back up and make it what it used to be prior to Ryan coming and ruining it all. And so, sorry, dude, I love you. And the only way we can do that is by your support. We cannot continue to do the show in the fashion that I would like to do the show. Get back to doing 5 nights a week sometime in the nearest future without support from our supporters. So do that. We love you guys to death. I will see you next week. I won't do a show Saturday this weekend because we've got state championships for our 7-year-old Lulu tonight, starting tomorrow night through Saturday. Hopefully she will be a state champion for Indianola, Iowa, starting next week sometime. But until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. A chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean, you know it. The product is getting close to COVID. Holy shit, I think I'm a poet.